Hello.
Hello, world.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Good.
Doing good. Let's jump into it. We're running a little behind, shall we?
We shall.
Yep. All right. Welcome to 5x5 night. You're here. You're looking at 5 judges. Pretty soon, 5 people will present 5 ideas. They'll have 5 minutes each, 5 slides each. And then at the end of the night, somebody walks away with $5,000. We do it because...
Are you yelling, or is my mic extra sensitive? Are you excited?
How do I sound? How do I sound to people? Oh, maybe I'm closer to the microphone than normal.
There we go.
You know what? It's
Welcome to 5x5, where we usually don't scream into the mic. We just give $5,000 away to an aspiring entrepreneur. I'm Daryl, and that was Paul Moore. Go ahead.
Never doing this again with you. Yeah, so these are the 5 judges. I think before we start introducing everybody, though, we should give a plug into the Star Garden 100, which is live now. Little brand plug right there. So the 100, we do it once a year. Submissions are open right now. Submissions from anywhere, any language, whatever idea you're working on. And it's pretty much we made the easiest platform to submit an idea. You record about 1.5 minute video into your phone and you share your idea. It's literally like, hey, here's my idea. Here's why I think I'm a great person to run with it. Really hope you guys like it too. I mean, it's pretty much that basic, not quite as intense as a 5-minute pitch like you'll see tonight. And then after those submissions are submitted, we choose 100. 100 all get $1,000. So easy $1,000. And then 2 months later, you'll show up at Demo Day. That'll actually be happening October 1st this year. And at Demo Day, you will compete to be one of the top 10 who get $20,000 each. So it's a way of pulling ideas from all over the city, all over the state, all over the Midwest, and helping them get started with $20,000. So submit an idea. I know some of you have them. Put them in there. The web address is 100.stargarden.com. And like I said, you can do it from your phone. So let's get started with 5x5 night now that we are back into 5x5 night. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick, judges? Let's start with Lori.
Okay, I am Lori Spinski, director at Star Garden.
Jorge, jump in there.
I think Jorge might be having...
Jorge is having technical difficulties and he can't hear us.
Okay, great. Maybe we will have Jorge return later on in the evening.
He's logging out and he's coming back in.
All right. You guys, I think this is our 12th one.
Is it really?
We've done virtual. This is how long a pandemic has been going on. Woo! All right, Daryl, you want to say something about Daryl Ross?
I'm Daryl Ross with Star Garden.
Thank you. Keep it short. Kimberly.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Spikey, owner of Lex Artisan Preserves.
All right. And yeah, fast growing business Kimberly has got going on. It's kind of exciting. I'm Paul Moore with Star Garden.
Entrepreneur extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
And Jorge, are we back? Jorge's totally texting somebody right now. He's like, hey, look, I cannot meet up with you tonight. I'm at an event right now in my house. All right. We'll hope that Jorge gets this thing sorted out shortly. Let's move on to presenters, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is the lineup for the evening. You Plant Landscape Designs, equityapplicants.org, Hierarchy, Mannerist Goods, and the Jean Boutique. The way this works out is they all have about 5 minutes to present, and then the judges will ask a few questions. It usually takes about an hour, and then we deliberate, and then we come back and we announce who gets the $5,000. So shall we jump right in with You Plant Landscape Designs?
Sure.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you, Sandy. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm just as excited as you are.
No, I've got a reputation.
I am the owner, founder of You Plant Landscape Designs. we design it, you plant it. I don't know if my slides are up or if I'm supposed to tell you to switch. Okay, there we go. If you could do the next slide, this is just, we design it, you plant it. Okay, I created You Plant Landscape Designs to provide landscape designs for homeowners looking to install the landscape themselves. I provide them with all the necessary tools, which begins with an on-site visit with the homeowner. I take photos of the areas they're looking to landscape and get some ideas from them. I then take the photos and create digital landscape designs, which I then email to the client. They are able to make any changes they would like to the designs at that point. And then where we really come into the key here is I then provide a detailed plant list for them to shop with that includes not only the name of the plant, but variety as well. And then I go back through all of the designs and label everything so they know exactly which plants go where. Next slide, please. For the homeowner to be able to install the landscape themselves, it's actually saving them potentially thousands of dollars by not having to hire a professional landscape company. And it has been proven that a nice landscape does include or increase the value of your home by providing lasting curb appeal. Next slide, please. My goal with You Plant was to provide all of the necessary tools for the homeowner to shop for the plants, using the provided plant list, which there's a small image of that there, and to install the plants themselves using the labeled plant guide. The service is not available currently in the industry, so I feel that the industry is really kind of lacking in the area for people that would like to do the work themselves. I hear a lot of times from homeowners that they can dig the hole, they just don't know where to put it and what to put in it. So that's where my idea came from. Mm-hmm. Next slide, please. I probably talk really fast. So if I were to win the $5,000, the one thing that I would like to do is work with a software programmer that would help to provide software to create the plant list that I need from the landscape designs. And being that you can get a landscape design program currently, there's nothing that will create this plant list that I'm looking for. Currently, I do have to process that by hand. Another thing I would like to do is participate in the West Michigan Home and Garden Show in March of 2022. Create register handouts for garden centers and greenhouses, which is where my clients would go to purchase the plants. And a lot of times people get to the greenhouses and garden centers and they leave overwhelmed because they don't know what to purchase. So that's where You Plant comes in. And I would just like to get that out there for people. My ultimate goal is to franchise the business because, like I said, there isn't anyone in the industry providing everything necessary for the homeowner to do their own landscape. Another part of my service is that I am available to the homeowner before, during, and after the project. So they can reach out with questions regarding mulch or stone, or do I put anything in the hole before I plant the plant? Or I'm at the garden center and I can't find the plant that's on your plant list. What do you suggest? So there's many, many questions that are out there that part of my service is to help people, educate them, and help them create the beautiful landscape that they're looking for. And I think that's it really quick.
Thank you. There's people applauding all over the planet right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so this is where we ask a couple questions. If you guys want to jump in, I'm always the first one to jump in. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were saying you want to get into franchising, I was kind of surprised. What would a franchise in your mind look like?
A franchise would be in another city or location. just because this type of business is not available anywhere, I would like to franchise to other cities using landscape designers that may have that talent and that are looking to be an entrepreneur, so they could create a business doing exactly what I'm doing. So I would provide the tools necessary, and they could go out and start a business doing exactly this to, help homeowners looking to do this work themselves.
All right.
So Sandy, you're currently, I'm sorry. Obviously you're a landscape designer, and
yes.
What do you, so you charge for your services now, and then how would this plant list, would that, kind of alter what you charge, or would that be, it's just the software is really for you to make the process easier, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And also, again, with my future goal, if I were able to franchise, I would like the software to be available to those people as well. Mm-hmm. The way I charge for my service right now is I charge for, excuse me, I have laryngitis today. So I charge for each area or bed or space, however you want to put it out there. So currently I'm charging $145 for the first landscape bed. And then additional spaces are $30 to $50 depending on size. So for instance, when I go to a house, if I do the first bed in front of the house, that's $145. If I do the side and the back, each bed is a different shape or size and cost. So that's how I make my money.
Mm-hmm. And how many customers do you have right now doing this?
This is the beginning of my third year. I'm located in Grand Rapids, obviously, and currently I've serviced over 220 customers.
With this particular offering where you're doing the design and then they're doing the labor, like buying it and planning it?
Yes, with this business.
Nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Sandy, I have a question. How are you actually finding your customers? Because I think this is a fascinating niche where you design and then people want to plant. How are you currently finding them?
So I started out by advertising on a site called Nextdoor. I also started out with Facebook. In 2020, I did have a booth at the West Michigan Home and Garden Show, and we had people waiting in line to talk to us. I signed up over 100 people that day. All but 15 people actually followed through with the designs. And then I also have been going, as I can, stopping at garden centers and asking them if I can put cards at their registers. This year, I've noticed a lot of referral business from people that I helped last year.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Any other questions, judges? All right.
No.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks very much, guys.
Listen to the applause and the cheers in your mind. All right. Up next is Landon Bartley with Equity Applicants, and we may have Jorge.
Finally, sorry. I had to restart my computer. It was working fine throughout the day, and then I decided to go outside. I'm like, I'm gonna sit in the patio, and it didn't like the weather, so I'm back inside.
Jorge, did you drop it outside?
I have not.
All right. Okay. Sorry, Landon. Welcome.
All right. Thank you.
How's it going? You can start anytime you want.
Oh, it's going great. I'm very excited about this program, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share the details. So,
yeah,
I guess I'll start. So thank you for having me. My name is Landon Bartley. My program is equityapplicants.org. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram is Equity Applicants. Twitter is Equity Apps. Just really quick about me. I was a city planner for the city of Grand Rapids for about 14 years. For the last 3 of those years, I administered the city's medical cannabis program. And during that time, I became very familiar with the very complex relationship between government and cannabis. and particularly how governmental policies over about the last 80 years or so have had some pretty harmful impacts in many cases when it comes to cannabis, and particularly on Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So thankfully, many governments are starting to recognize the history. They're starting to recognize the impacts of their policies. And where governments do allow the legal cannabis industry, several have been designing some really good social equity policies that are meant to help make the cannabis industry more equitable. And the city of Grand Rapids is one of them. Next slide, please. So how equity applicants works, on the left side, we have government, right? The city of Grand Rapids, which published a cannabis social equity policy last summer. And at the top, in that social equity policy, they define people known as equity applicants. And the people are defined that way if they meet at least 3 of 6 criteria. Very briefly, those are: do you have a cannabis conviction in your past? Does a family member have a cannabis conviction in the past? Have you lost housing because of that conviction, or had similar housing injustice? Or have you experienced other economic harm because of that conviction, loss of a job, loss of education or educational funding, etc.? Have you lived, or do you live or have lived in a neighborhood of focus in Grand Rapids, sort of a core neighborhood? And do you have meet a certain income level? So you have 6 of those criteria. If you meet 3 or more, you're considered an equity applicant. But even if you have less than that, but just meet 1 or 2, you could still benefit from this program. What the social equity policy also does is incentivizes cannabis businesses to hire equity applicants. The problem is that cannabis businesses don't really have a good way to find them. And when they do, they can't always ask them the questions legally to determine whether or not those people would actually qualify as an equity applicant. So that's where equityapplicants.org comes in. Next slide, please. So our impact basically is that our activities is we essentially do 2 things. We help individuals determine their eligibility and find their documentation to help them say, yes, I am an equity applicant. And that would really help their new employer as a cannabis company with their quarterly compliance reporting requirements as well. We estimate that there are anywhere from 13,000 to 15,000 people that would qualify as an equity applicant in the Grand Rapids area. The core of what we do is make connections, right, between individuals and cannabis businesses through job board, through directory online. That's very, very targeted. So it's hyper-local, focused on Grand Rapids, and also cannabis businesses with other businesses as suppliers and vendors, particularly minority business enterprises, women business enterprises, and micro-local business enterprises. So now we're just sort of in startup. We're trying to market to people to get them on board. And then our ongoing activities are maintaining the job board, the directories, and also some pretty good opportunities for expansion in the near term within Michigan, but also as more states come online with their legalization of the industry and with their own social equity policies. We have a good opportunity to help out there. Next slide, please. Our very current status is that we have a website. It's launched. It's limited right now, though. We've identified some candidates to coordinate this work. We have a very good advisory board, both inside and outside of the industry. And we've also secured some money, some potential funding from the industry, which is the major funders of these activities, including 2 companies who are interested in potentially donating or paying close to $10,000 towards this program. Real quick, just the way that we fund, I should have you on the next slide, please. The way we fund the activities is through memberships. The equity applicants pay $10, but that can be waived under certain conditions. Cannabis companies pay far more. If we were awarded the $5,000, we'd use about $2,000 towards that project coordinator position, wages and benefits, $1,000 towards the website fine tuning, and then $2,000 to help with the marketing activities. We expect that we'd net around $2,400 a month. If all goes as planned, which could help with administrative costs, more marketing, and expansion. So with that, thank you for your time, and I'd love to answer any questions.
Who wants to jump in?
I will. Thank you, Landon. I think it's a great idea. I think it's desperately needed. But I guess my question to you, when you said targeted marketing, what do you specifically mean by that? Because we do the same thing at Star Garden, and what kind of media sources are you thinking of doing, or how are you going to reach the marginalized community?
Yeah. So we've identified a couple of newspapers in town. Also reached out to a couple of PR firms that are owned by people of color. I'm blanking on the names right now, and it's killing me. But so we're very interested in sort of using Lavaz, some other non-English speaking papers in town. We'd be using flyers, news pieces, direct mail, and also going through social media. We have some good partnerships too with other sort of like-minded organizations. Specifically, the Black and Brown Cannabis Guild has a program called Michigan Pipeline to Employment, and we would be waiving membership fees to our program for anyone that's participating in that one. And also looking at just, I guess, a lot of different options, but that's where we'd start.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Landon, this is Daryl. How does scale look on this, or scaling this look? Is this something that is designed for the city of Grand Rapids? So does it have the ability to change more for other municipalities, or do you see it as a local tool?
We'd start local, and we need basically one full-time staff person. I'd have them on a contract basis to take care of one city. When we'd expand, we think for some of the smaller communities in Michigan, we could have multiple communities supported by one individual. But a place like Detroit, when that comes online, we'd be looking at least one person. So we'd be the program essentially per city would support itself based on the cannabis licensees in that community and the other member types.
So if I could jump in, just a clarification, how do you make money? So is it a dispensary or a grow operation that is paying a monthly fee? Like how does it work?
Yeah. It is pretty leans pretty heavily on the industry. Companies, licensees would pay a quarterly membership fee. We're looking at probably between $1,500 and $2,000, but it's a very, very targeted. It has very good value because it's so targeted, so local to their operations. And they're exactly the folks, equity applicants are people that the companies in town really want to get to and hire because they've made some significant social equity commitments, but also they're incentivized by cannabis social equity policy. So
out of curiosity, like when they've made a social equity commitment, like is there a penalty involved if they don't hit these numbers? And if so, like how much is that? Or what's the leverage?
Yeah, potentially so. The commitments, if they have a quarterly reporting requirement, and essentially every year the city can look at it and say, did you meet your commitments? If so, why not? And if they didn't and are not going to or aren't making progress, so they could potentially get their license revoked. So there's some teeth, and we're just essentially trying to help make the policy have more impact and help the cannabis companies meet those commitments.
Landon, I have a question. So you mentioned other businesses that, or people of color in the Black and Brown Cannabis Guild. How are you intentionally planning to kind of collaborate with them or keep them all in a loop? Like, what does that look like for you in terms of strategy and making sure that everybody is coming together to solve this problem? Or have you thought about that?
I mean, we have a connection already with Black and Brown Cannabis Guild, and I'm in my current work as a consultant. I have several clients, in fact, who are cannabis licensees, so I've been talking with them about it. But as far as Black and Brown Cannabis Guild, that's established. In fact, we just talked yesterday about that to make sure this will be on board.
And are you currently filling some of these open positions that need to be filled with equity applicants?
We've identified some candidates. We haven't hired anyone yet on a contract basis, but the hope is that the person that we do, or people down the road to be the actual project staff, would be equity applicants themselves. Yeah.
Any questions? Anyone else?
No, I'm good.
Feeling good. All right. Thank you, Landon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The crowd roars. And now Tramel Hawkins with Hierarchy is up.
How's everyone doing this evening?
Good evening, Shamel.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, so
What's up, sir?
how's it going? February of this year, I got a phone call. It was a typical phone call, or started out to be a typical phone call from my mom. You know, I answered the phone. Hey, what's going on, Ma? How you doing, sweetie? You know, small talk. Once the small talk was aside, my mom came out with a question. She said, "Can you get me some sugar-free edibles?" It kind of threw me back for a moment. I wasn't sure if I should respond or how I should respond because this is my mom I'm talking to. You know,
It would throw me off. This is my mom too.
you know, so I did. I took a brief moment. I thought about it. You know, and she broke the silence and she said, "They're not for me." She said, your grandpa just got out of surgery. You know, he's having some complications. He's not sleeping. He has a lot going on. The doctors don't know what to do, but we figured, why not try this? You know, I said, okay, you know, that makes sense. Now I'm getting what she's catching. I'm catching what she's throwing, you know. So I figured living in Grand Rapids with cannabis being more normalized now and dispensaries going up all over the place, I felt like this would be an easy thing to accomplish, you know. So I got on the phone, I made some phone calls. I took a few days. I went to a few dispensaries and after a few days, I had no luck. You know, I didn't want to go back to my mom and say I couldn't help her. So I found myself in the kitchen doing what I do best. My name is Shamel Hawkins, and this is Hierarchy. So next slide. 2020 was a record year in the cannabis industry, both in sales and in growth. But with more and more states opting into the cannabis industry, this trend is going to continue, you know. And one of the things that I've noticed, you know, even though there's you know, even with such a robust year, there are still gaps to be filled in this industry. Next slide. Hierarchy is looking to fill some of those gaps. So what Hierarchy is specializes in high-end cannabis edibles, as well as dietary specific cannabis products. Some of those products being gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan. These are some of the untapped markets. And with my knowledge as a chef, you know, this is what I wanted to do. Next slide. So throughout the years, I've been a chef in Grand Rapids, and being a chef in Grand Rapids, I've had the pleasure of accommodating people with dietary restrictions for years. You know, this has been one of the things that I've really prided myself on, whether that be gluten-free, vegan, low sodium, whatever the case might be. I've always prided myself on being able to accommodate those that had these type of restrictions because they shouldn't be omitted from enjoying the things that everyday people are able to enjoy. So with this whole cannabis movement, I felt like, why not, you know, and who better to go ahead and push the movement for people to be able to enjoy the things that everyone else is enjoying. Next slide. So with the $5,000, if I won $5,000, what I would do is that would allow me to secure a license in the cannabis micro business. And what that would allow me to do is to be able to get these products out to more people, because the micro business license is meant for the smaller business. It's not a dispensary license. It's a lower level dispensary license, so to speak. It's built off the same foundation that Founders was built off of, which is a micro business that's able to get it to the local groups. It's not selling to the bigger businesses. It's selling to the direct consumer. But by securing, you know, the license to be able to do so, people will be able to enjoy these edibles, whether they're gluten-free, sugar-free, or vegan, you know, as well as other dietary restrictions. You know, so that's what Hierarchy is all about. That's what I've always been about as a chef. And that's really what I'm pushing for.
Okay. All right. So
You're muted, Paul.
Oh yeah, I was
But the hands are moving.
yeah.
So embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, people. No, I was just saying, we should do a disclosure because Daryl owns 40 acres. Jamel was part of 40 acres. Whenever, that's very common that there's a crossover in relationships because it's a town the size of Grand Rapids. So we have a whole process of when we go into the deliberation so that there's not a favoritism. But just for anybody that was wondering about that, I wanted to put that out there before we get into questions. So go ahead, Lori. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just going to say, so are you currently producing and selling these products, or you can't yet because you don't have a license?
So right now I actually have a caretaker's license. So some of the things that I do are very, very small in size as far as what I'm doing. You know, I mean, I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize the potential of getting the actual license for the micro business. So, I mean, I do have some test kitchens and some products that I've worked through the process and everything else.
Yeah. And so then once you've got your license, where do you sell them? Dispensaries, or where can you sell them?
So the micro business license actually allows you to have a storefront. It allows you to retail, process, and grow. So you would be doing everything in-house, which to me is a great way to do things. You know where the product is coming from. You know how it's grown. You know how it's made. You know all the processes. And it's a very deliberate. It's a very deliberate situation. So it's very personal. It's very personable. When people come in, you're able to direct them to where they need to go because you know the product. You are the product essentially.
So is that kind of like a brew pub model where there's a lounge, they pick it up there, you're making it all on site, it's all in one location?
Yes, sir, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let me ask you, and just me, myself being a former diabetic and having to control my sugars, is there like is the reason why your grandpa or your mom was asking for this was because is there currently a lot of sugar and gluten on current gummies?
Yes, sir. I mean, so most gummies are made with high fructose corn syrup. So diabetics can't eat those type of things. Anything that a diabetic would be able to eat has to have a low glycemic rise. So it has to be more natural sweeteners, and it can't be even that you have to be careful with and not going overboard.
Cool, thanks.
What are some of the other products?
Usually our food vendors, especially those with backgrounds as extensive as yours, Jamel, brings us samples. And it helps guide our decision making. But bags around me, so
I typically would, so actually, after you guys talked about the 100, that actually came to mind, and if I know that I probably have to figure that whole situation out, but I might be able to do something CBD at the 100, as long as it has less than 0.3% THC content. Typically CBD is okay. So, we might be okay there.
That's our 100 commercial
a lot
right
of people
there.
just really got interested in showing up at our October 2nd demo day too. If there's no more questions, I think we should let them all go. Yeah.
Let's move on. Yeah. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yeah. In case there's somebody watching who's not from Michigan, Michigan was legalized in the not too distant past, and cannabis is a booming industry. So there's a ton of entrepreneurship activity in that space, which is kind of exciting for entrepreneurs. So next up, we got Laura Vaughn, Mannerist Goods. Man, we got bringing out a bunch of people tonight. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Vaughn, as you said, here to talk about Mannerist Goods. Mannerist will make sustainable tableware items for entertaining that are also good for everyday use. And we'll get into that, but I wanted to give a bit about my background. I have founded 2 startups. One is called Blackbird RSVP, still running and thriving again after the pandemic, now that events are happening again. I've worked at a handful of startups, all in the software space. And the other work I do is in innovation for larger companies, helping them to use design thinking to innovate and think of what's next and pivot their business. So I work a lot with new ideas. You can go to the next slide. And this is like a particular idea that I'm just really enamored with. There's these businesses that are typically, or sorry, products that are typically sold in maybe a department store. And there's like tons of different kinds, and people walk in there when they don't know what they want and they look around. And brands are really not the thing, like the categories are the thing. And it's that they have everything. And you can go kind of shop around. But I love these businesses that have been taking like a single product from something that's sold and sort of forgotten about, like mattresses, for example. And you walk into a furniture store and there's millions of them, and no one can really recall very many brands that sell them, but they know they can kind of go into a store and you know, stumble around and find one. But Casper took the mattress and they said, we're going to create a really great product. We're going to tell a great story about it. We're going to market it direct to consumers, and we're going to have a unique buying experience. And I think, you know, this direct to consumer approach is, it's not me. This direct to consumer approach has been done with many items. So glasses with Warby Parker, cookware with Great Jones, Bloomscape, a Michigan company. It's not that you can't go into a glasses store and find a nice looking pair of glasses, but it's that they have a whole model built around it. And now you know that brand versus knowing the glasses store, the glasses store's brand. And so I think I found one of those things. So I got really excited. It's sort of a forgotten item. All of you have them. They're on your shelf. You use them every day, and it's drinking glasses. You can go to the next slide. So our particular approach on the glass is sort of combining these 2 worlds. So you have the everyday glass that you pull out at the end of the night to pour a glass of wine or whatever it is you're drinking. It's a hardworking glass. You know, you use it all the time. Then you have this like china cabinet or whatever you're storing glasses in, and that's got like margarita glasses and martini glasses and champagne flutes and the things that you pull out like a few times to a couple times a year to use. And the thought is, you know, why not have a hardworking glass that can do both? So we are in the process of designing a glass that can be used every day, but if your friend stopped over, you can pour them whatever it is they brought to drink, and it still feels special. On the left is my stemless wine glass that I have shattered all of because they're crystal. So I've now resorted to using this plastic cup that you see that's in pink when I drink every day, whatever it is that I happen to be drinking. And it feels not special enough when someone comes over to serve them something. So anyway, we're in the process of designing and developing that glass. You can go to the next slide. These are the people that are working on it. John O'Neill at Conduit Studio, I think he's listening today, is helping with the branding, the packaging, as well as photography, direction. It's really important with these direct-to-consumer brands that you tell your story well visually, since you're marketing it online, and John has so much experience doing that. Fernando Ramirez and Justin Beitzel are industrial designers, and they're actually designing the glass. I'm very excited to work with them because they have experience both with like very large businesses designing products as well as small startups. And then finally, Remark Glass will actually be producing the glass. They are a Philadelphia-based, women-led glass blower. They're zero waste, so they actually collect all their own glass bottles in Philadelphia, melt them down, make new product. What you see on the screen there is actually a rocks glass that they made out of Topo Chico bottles. So we think that's a really important part of the story that we're telling about the glass. You can go to the next slide. And finally, so the plan is we're aiming for a late summer launch. The glasses we think will cost somewhere between $5 and $8 to produce. That's where we're aiming for. The $5,000 would help us produce our first 500 to 750 glasses, and then the proceeds of that would then fund additional glasses. We are at time. They retail in sets of 4 at $30 each.
All right. $30 for a set of 4.
Right.
Yes. No. $30 per glass.
Oh, okay.
She's kidding. You're kidding, aren't you?
No.
No.
Nope.
I honestly thought I read $30 for a set of 4.
There's a set of 4. They'll be $30 each. Each glass will be $30. So we're aiming at $120 for a set.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I love it. I mean, I love the idea of, you know, the branding of it, the storytelling, you know, just where the glass is coming from, where the glass is made. I think you're right. I mean, you know, lots of brands that have stories really resonate with people, and it's very useful, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you're going into a department store, you sort of don't know what you're looking for. And like, we want to give people something to look for. Like, I bet none of you could name like more than 2 glass makers. And I think that's one way to identify that, like, hey, there's space here for a great company with a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it when something sort of fairly ordinary becomes, you know, elevated and synonymous with a brand. And I'm guessing that John O'Neill did the logo, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's not fine. He would want me to say it's not final yet, but we're literally in the process of doing all of this. So we are, you know, going to make it something that really resonates with our audience, and is something that would like stop you on Instagram, which is largely where we'll be marketing it.
So where does like 500 to 750 glasses get you, as far as, you know, it gets you going at the end of the summer, but then what's that next step that you would get to?
Yeah. So I think ultimately, you know, a lot of these businesses like Casper, or if anybody knows Brooklinen, they have one thing they sell, and they have like maybe 2 to 3 other things that they sell that's in the same world. So we would either just double down. I think we can just continue to sell the glass, and, you know, maybe we do different iterations or limited releases based on different, you know, glass content or color. So we kind of make a call then to say, are we going to do additional glasses, or are we going to do the next item in the line, which we're kind of identifying napkins and like napkin holders, because we think there's a space for, nobody uses reusable like linen napkins at home. And I think that's interesting and something to kind of poke at and see what we could make there.
How close are you to knowing the actual glass, as far as being able to hold it in your hand and feel like, all right, this thing has been kind of vetted and worked, and people think this is an amazing, you know, sort of everyday, every occasion thing?
I think we're like 5 weeks away from that.
Mm-hmm. And are there prototypes that you're working on right now, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we're in the design process right now, just figuring out like how heavy do we want this to be? What kind of details do we want on it? We're narrowing in on that, kind of chiseling away at that. And then that will go into production at the glass blower. They produce various prototypes. We feel them, see how they are to drink out of, and then go into production.
Just out of curiosity, is it something that winds up going into a mold that's easily repeatable, or is it very like bespoke? You have to blow every single one.
That's how you drive the cost down, right, on the glass, and that can be done with hand blown glass. You make a mold, and it just becomes a little more predictable. It has slight variation. It's not a perfect like Libby glass that you get at the restaurant supply store, right? Like, they're not all manufactured like that, but they are. But you can get them pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, I have a question. First of all, I love the concept. I love the concept of taking something every day and adding luxury to it. You know, I don't think
Thank you.
Wait to feel special, you know, particularly since everything that's been going on. Who's your target customer, and how are you going to find him or her? Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, nothing against guys. I know men also like to purchase nice things for their home, but it's definitely, it's primarily women, primarily the ones that are on Instagram. So it's people like, you know, I'm going to say 30 plus that like nice things in their home.
have bought enough things that haven't worked out that they're like, I actually just want a really nice thing that I'm going to have for a long time.
Sure.
So that's currently the market.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Judges?
No, I love it.
All right. All right. Well, the world is now
Thank you.
sending you love and applause. These are like the softest claps in the world. Like we're trying not to make noise. Like this. All right. Is there one more? Last one? All right. Kiana Hall, the Jean Boutique. Let's hear about it.
Hello. How's everyone
Hello.
doing?
Welcome.
Rowan.
Hi. Can I get it on the first slide, please? My name is Kiana Hall. I am the owner of the Jean Boutique. You can email me at my personal email if you want to reach out, and you can also follow me on Facebook as well. Next slide, please. So I know you're probably wondering, what is the Jean Boutique? Well, the Jean Boutique is an online e-commerce site that caters to curvy women. I know when you hear the word curvy, you automatically think plus size. We are not a plus size company. We cater to women who wears the sizes 12 to 16. These women are more than likely to have hips and rounder bottoms. These women struggle finding good quality, fashionable jeans. Next slide, please. I know you're probably thinking, why should we care? Well, this is a big problem for women with curves. Have you ever walked into a jean store as a woman with curves and was very disappointed because the denims are basic and your style is always out of stock? There is a big gap in the marketplace. More of these jean stores cater to women from the sizes 0 to 10. These sizes are always in stock. They have a wide selection to choose from. My boutique will only cater to the sizes 12 to 16. These sizes are hard to find and really needed. I will also have more of these sizes in stock. This is convenient and less stressful on my future customers because they do not have to spend hours online scrolling or in stores shopping around to find jeans. Next slide, please. I am the right person to launch this business because I am my customer. I have a hard time finding fashionable, good quality denim in my size. I know what it's like. I know what it's like from having countless conversations and paying attention to the market, on top of having mentors that can help and guide me with any questions I may have for building my business. Also, I plan to drop ship my orders, so I don't have to pay for storage or have to have the clothing on hand. But I do plan to have open up a spot on the weekends for sample pieces. This gives my customers a chance to touch, feel, and even purchase the product if they wanted to. Winning the $5,000 will help me out tremendously, get my business up and running. A huge percentage will go to marketing. I plan to find someone who has a lot of experience in marketing online and can teach me, so that I'm not spending countless of hours at pop-up shops and I'm spending more time engaging with my audience. Everything is being done online. If I can find the right person to help me market, I see my business being very successful. I'm really just trying to bring awareness for curvy women. What's offered for smaller women should be offered for curvy women as well, as far as style and sizes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So tell me real quick, are you currently selling jeans or anything like this now?
So I'm glad you asked that. So I was originally called Uniquely You Boutique, and I was a trendy boutique, but I noticed that I wasn't carrying a problem. So I stopped doing that and I paid attention to the market, and what's needed is jeans. So I transitioned my company into the Jean Boutique because that's a need from all of my customers that I have talked to. So right now I'm building that brand up off of what I have already started. So I'm just switching everything out and getting it back open. It should be open by the end of next month. My site.
How many customers do you currently have for that thing, and how much revenue are you doing?
Right now I don't have any revenue, and I have 114 emails that I talk to people constantly and letting them know that the website is about to transition into the Jean Boutique, but I have not, because the business is not up and running yet. Because I was in Spring GR, so I kind of put my business on the back burner because I wasn't knowledgeable then. I just rushed into it. I didn't know anything. So I took a step back, and now I'm giving myself another shot. And this time I'm more comfortable because I have all the knowledge I need now, you know, to run a successful business. Back then I was just pity packing off what I was seeing others doing. That's why I wasn't as successful as I'm going to be now.
It's okay. That's most entrepreneurs do first and think afterward. So are you in the Spring GR cohort that's going on right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're graduating, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Kiana, are you you're like locating brands, so you're finding jeans and different brands, and then you're curating them in your online boutique?
Yeah, so my vendors are in California at the Fashion District. So I'm really going to the manufacturers that offer good quality. So I go to them and I tell them what I want, what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for stretchy, because when you think of curves, you want stretch. You know, I'm thinking of jeans that are fashion that can be worn different ways. You know, I don't want boring. And a lot of these jean companies offer boring jeans, boring jeans that you can't really express yourself. So I'm trying to do a movement for our curvy women, you know, to you know, so they are able to style if they want to go out and hang out with ladies, or if they want to go on a date with their husband, you know, they're able to bring their fashion statements out with the jeans.
Kiana, I have a question. First of all, I love this because I'm all about getting stuff that fits right and not trying to squeeze into stuff and having your butt hanging out. So, but I'm trying to understand the cycle. So you will source from your vendor in California, and then you'll have a pop-up here where your customers can come and identify what they want to pre-order, because you mentioned doing drop shipping. Like, what's the cycle of the sale?
So this is how I plan to start. I will have sample pieces that my vendor gives me. On the weekend, I'm going to rent out a spot. So my ideal customers can come, touch, feel, and purchase if they want. Then my vendor will ship it to them. So that's how the cycle will go, because I don't want to keep I don't want to look at my money, you know, sitting in my living room, you know, so, and it also gives me a trial and error to see what's selling and what's not selling.
Yeah.
Hopefully I answered your question.
No, that makes total sense. I was just trying to understand the cycle, and I like that, because then you don't get into having like 500 pair of jeans sitting around.
Yes.
You know, without your customers really wanting to go that direction.
Yeah, and that was one of the things when I was the Uniquely You boutique. I was just looking at my merchandise sitting there because I was doing something that everyone was doing, you know. So this time around, no one's doing this, you know. So this gives me a free shot at to really move this movement. Like, I'm so passionate about it, because it's like, yay, you know, for us curvy women, we finally got jeans, you know. So yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have a pretty good understanding of cost, like how much, you know?
Yes, I do, ma'am. I have it right here. So for a variable cost is $19.25 per item. I plan to sell at $65. Gross profit will be $45.75, and in order to break even, I would have to sell 90 units.
Per 90 units, how often?
That would have to be per month.
90 per month. Okay.
Yes. That was just an example piece without giving all my information out of my vendor. So that was just an example.
Yeah. And then I have one more question. What about, you know, I mean, trying on jeans, it's kind of, I think it's hard to buy jeans online. What do you do about people that get them and then want to return? Do you have a return policy, and how does that work for you?
Yes, so we have a return policy right now because COVID is still fresh. So you will be able to get in-store credit, but I will have a setup where they will be able to watch my models try on these jeans, and it kind of give them a glimpse of what shape their body is. You know, I'm gonna have a different shape model, but they're curvy women, because you know all of our bodies are not the same. So I can't have all the same models. So I have to have models that really brings my vision to grasp the attention of my customers. So they have videos on my business page, and they can click on it, find their body type, and see how the jeans will fit.
Gotcha.
And when you say in-store credit, you're talking about credit to buy again through the website, not an actual brick and mortar store, right?
No.
Yeah.
So it would just give you credit to purchase something else that you might like on there, and then on the website. If you didn't watch the video, you didn't see, so you just thought that, hey, these jeans, you know, so they able to send them back to me and tell me what they want. I will have a number and I will have an email address that we can talk. Because, you know, most boutiques, you don't have that one-on-one conversation, you know, because some of them are too busy. I'm going to make myself not as busy enough so that I'm able to communicate with my customers, because I want to, you know, satisfy them and give them what they're asking for. That's the whole point of me starting this movement and trying to get this business up and running. I know I can't please everyone, but I do believe I can please as many that's going to allow me to please them.
All right. I think we got it, judges.
Thank you.
I am 2 o'clock. Thank you.
And we'll see you on your graduation.
Yeah, you guys are going to be at the graduation, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Spring GR, for anybody that doesn't know, it's a 12-week boot camp, I believe, where if you got an idea, you turn it into a business, and it's got fantastic coaches. Highly recommend it to anybody who's sitting out there. It's like, I got an idea, but what does this look like if I turn it into business? And then, you know, you step up like Kiana, and it's like, I'm buying it for this much, I'm selling it for this much, I need to sell this many units to break even. They help you out with all that. All right, so I think we are going to go into the deliberation time. And when we come back, somebody wins $5,000. And I also believe AB, our social media and brand ambassador, has got some entertainment that's coming up for those that are sitting in front of the screen. And also, this is usually where I plug the next 5x5 night, which is we are bringing back the All-Stars 5x5 night. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And am I also correct that we're not giving away $5,000 next month?
You know, think about this. All-Stars, 5x5. What is 5 times?
25.
$25,000.
Yes.
All right, it's $25,000 next month, all alumni. So this is the past winners coming back, competing for $25,000. It's the All-Stars event. What date is this? June 29th is what I'm seeing in the chat.
Yeah, it is.
It should be exciting because it's all companies that have gone out and done some great things, and now they're coming back. So let's go into deliberation and bring up AB. Sound good?
All right.
All right, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is AB, and I'm super excited about the 100. Thank you, Murphy, for that little video. The 100 is back this year. It's an amazing business competition. It's an amazing chance for entrepreneurs to, really get some funds with no strings attached that could really help push their business forward. 100 people will win $1,000. And this is just a really great thing. I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and submit your business idea. If you've been thinking about an idea and you're kind of sitting on it, now is a great time to get that out. You could actually submit more than one idea. So the more you do it, the better you get, the more chances you have to secure some funds. So having said that, I'm excited. I'm excited for our guest. Woo, excuse me. His name is Ted. He's from Michigan House, which you may have heard of. Michigan House has been a long time connection with Start Garden. And so I'd like to bring on Ted.
I like it. You again didn't even
I left that pause for you so you can see if I was going to say your last name.
Yeah.
What's up, sir? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
How's 5x5 night going tonight?
5x5 is great, man. Like, one of the things I really like about all the 5x5
is this like a bonus night where you get an extra half an hour?
Yo, man, like I love the diversity from like fashion to landscape to the intricacies of cannabis and all those things. So like I think it's dope. Star Garden does it really well, the diversity. I mean, you guys, Michigan House, speaking of diversity, Michigan House, you guys always have a great lineup of people from different worlds, you know what I'm saying? Like how did you?
Yeah, man, I mean,
oh, you go. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna first. I mean, so it's just for those of you out there who don't know what Michigan House is, and I find that a lot of people have maybe heard of Michigan House but have no concept of what it is. And I actually always like to hear them try to explain it to me. But in general, what we try to be, anyways, is a platform for the state's innovators, creators, and really just people doing cool things to connect with the outside world. We're pretty well known for going to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. 2020 would have been our 6th consecutive year there. We did the virtual version of it this past March, and we do a number of those kinds of events where we bring together just different kinds of businesses, artists, musicians, food, drink, and try and just kind of mix people up so that they can kind of get inspired by the people around them and the community around them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I think that happens a lot, like with people in the art world and design world and people in the business and finance world. They find that like when they get together, you know, they're usually not around each other in that way. So like ideas start popping off inside your head. You know what I mean? I know that's
I mean, it's like what you were saying, you know, about 5x5 night. It's like there's so many people, so many different kinds of people in the state and in our community. All of them have ideas. All of them have these like all kinds of things as part of their life. And so often we just sort of see people in these silos. So we try and create spaces where some of those things can overlap a little bit. And because so that overlap ends up being like really cool and really interesting.
Yo, so break down these silos. So we've got like a real life, like people can see Michigan House in action, you know, now that like, so coming up on June 10th, I know about this because I'm going to be providing some beats and spinning some music. Now that things are opened up, yo, like a real live in-person event. Can you tell us?
Yeah, you know, we've got starting June 10th. We're calling Michigan House Summer. It's a whole schedule of events that we're going to be doing this summer throughout the state. Where we're going to try and sort of take a little slice of what we do oftentimes elsewhere, and we're going to kind of bring it home. And we really want to be a space where people can start reconnecting with the community around them, with people they haven't seen in a while. It's going to be live music at every one of these shows. We're going to have some sort of a conversation, like a fireside chat at every one of these shows. Have a little marketplace at every one. You'll be able to get some like local creatives, goods and stuff like that there. And there'll be some food and drink and all of that. It should be a lot of fun. The first one on June 10th, like you said, you're going to be providing some music. We've also got an artist from Detroit named Novelist who's been to South by with us in the past. He's a really he's just got a great sort of vibe to him. He's a rapper. He's got some like anime inspiration. He's like, dude is like literally like he's like a martial artist and all kinds of stuff.
Even the way he moves, as he performs is very like for sure.
He's really good, and I don't think he's ever played a Grand Rapids show before, so that's kind of fun. We had Ajax Stacks, who's a local Grand Rapids artist, but has been living in Texas for the last couple of years, right? So this is his first show back in Michigan. And then we got a conversation that's going to take place between our guy James Chapman, who's from Detroit, who's the CEO of a company called Plainsight. It's an app. It's a networking app. It's really getting some traction right now. They were just a couple weeks ago. They were Apple's App of the Week, which is like a pretty big deal. Yeah. And then you know, all of our friend Andrea, who's the CEO of her own company, Fortify. The two of them are going to talk. They've known each other for a while. They actually I'm just been told she's also a former 100 winner, Dre. Dre and James met originally in Detroit in 2018. They were out with some friends. They met and they said they spent the whole night talking about rap and startups and entrepreneurship. And so that's kind of the theme of their conversation. We're calling it hip hop and startups. And they're going to talk about kind of how music inspires them and how, like, some songs that remind them of moments and lessons they've learned through their entrepreneurial journey.
That's awesome, man. So, like, one of the things I love about everything you're doing and what Michigan House does is how you bring together the west side of the state and the east side of the state and like mix it all up, because I feel like there's like a lot of times a disconnect. I see it in like musically where like artists from both sides of the state aren't always connecting as much as you would think that they would, you know what I mean? And I imagine that's probably true in the business community. And like sometimes Detroit can feel like this faraway land of where things are going on and all this cool stuff is happening, and we don't see the relation to what we're doing here. But I love how you're bringing that together and showing the interwovenness of it all.
That's definitely the intention. I mean, it's our feeling that, you know, there aren't that many states that are as diverse as Michigan is. I mean, if you think about from like the tips of the UP to Detroit, just the kinds of people, the kinds of lives, the kinds of things that are going on. There's not too many places that have that kind of diversity, and there's a lot of power in connecting that a little bit more. And like you said, there are some divides that seem to exist, and a lot of that I feel like is often just people not knowing each other. So let's find some opportunities to bring people together, and I think we'll all be better for it.
I love it, man. I love it.
I think we got a video to show, because I often say Michigan House can be like, if you see it, you'll get it immediately, but if not, you have to like listen to me yammer on for a while. so maybe the video will let people know a little bit better what we got going on.
Oh, for
you
sure.
Want to roll that?
Murphy's in the house.
Everybody thinks of the West Coast. Everybody thinks of New York, but nobody's really paying attention to what's happening in the middle.
These are totally different ways of collaborations, and we tend to have the attitude we need to do everything on our own. And this has to change, because this is not going to work anymore in the future.
So I think that's like the biggest thing that I see in talking to founders is they really do feel like, especially in Detroit, they're part of something bigger than themselves.
How you like me now? I go loud. It's the shit that move crowds, make the whole world bow. I might have made you into a god kid. Check the gauntlet. I gave you power. I made you buck wild. We
want to have that conversation and collaborate with as many people as possible, and this is a great outlet to do that, and this is why we're here.
I made you buck wild.
So I didn't even realize until I just watched that so the track you guys all just heard, that was Novelist, who's performing June 10th. And the dude who opened it, that's James Chapman, who's speaking on June 10th. So that's from 2019, the last time we were able to go to Austin in real life. But it's the crew. We know all these people, they're friends, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. If anyone wants to go from Grand Rapids and wants to go to the show, go to Studio Park's website, and tickets are available there. They're being like very safe about it. They're selling them in pairs. They're gonna be out on the lawn. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of I've been hearing a lot of buzz, a lot of energy around this show on June 10th.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And I believe Stark Garden's gonna be there. The 100's gonna be there.
I could not come up with a better segue.
This is my first
So the Stark Garden crew is going to be in full effect, and going to be doing a little bit of a pop-up situation where we just help people out with registering for the 100, recording their idea. We're going to have, our amazing backdrop, which everybody loves to record in front of. For some reason, it's like a magnet. Like people just like are attracted to it. So yeah, submissions.
Murphy and Berlin are going to be there. It looks like Murphy and Berlin.
Yeah. And if people, I mean, Murphy's behind the scenes right now, but she's definitely on the scene when we do these events. She's a great point person, answering questions, helping people out. Berlin, the same can be said for her. So it's just gonna be awesome. And I think the cool thing about it is that it's just like real life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a break from some of the virtual stuff. I mean, I was in it with you like when virtual stuff started popping off, and all the frustrations of sound checks, and when the DJ's playing music. Are you supposed to keep like looking at them, and should they be making eye contact with the camera or looking away? Like all that stuff. It was just, so it's just gonna be great to be live and to be helping people out with the 100 live. Yeah, man, it's great. So I'm really appreciative of the collaboration. Did you ever? What's that?
I was just gonna say, I mean, Start Garden's been with us from the beginning, way back in 2015. Start Garden went to our first South by with us, so we're always there to support whenever we can.
Now, speaking of that, in 2015, 2018 was the first 100. Did you ever have an idea that you submitted for the 100? Was Michigan House Michigan House was before the 100, right?
Yeah.
So
no, we've never been a part of the 100. I've gone to, all of the demo days and have been a part of that. We're even, we've even had some 100 winners. We've had them go to Awesome with us to South by, and that's something we're talking about again doing maybe in the future. So, I think it's been really fun for us because we've really gotten to see kind of the 100 go from being like an idea to a reality. One of the an interesting thing. So like James Chapman, who's going to be speaking on June 10th with us. He's from Chattanooga originally. Dan Gilbert and the Detroit crew, Quicken Loans crew, actually brought him to Detroit to be the head of their entrepreneurial outreach. And he started Demo Day Detroit back in 2016 or something like that.
Okay.
And I went to that with some of the Start Garden crew, and that like some of those ideas is like where some of the original 100 idea came from, to do a big demo day for 100.
Yeah.
So it's really like feel like I've like seen it from like this, a seed to the thing that it is today.
You started to go from a seed. See, I love it when you use these metaphors that tie into Start Garden, seeds and growing. Yeah. So check it out. You said demo day. And I think that's something, a key part of the 100 for people to know. So not only do 100 people get chosen to win $1,000, they're not done with that at that point. They move on to demo day. And at demo day, they all compete in a physical form with like a booth to display, their business idea. They compete at that time to win $20,000, and 10 people win $20,000. So like, yo, this is great. Like from your perspective, like being someone that has like absorbed Demo Day as a client, you know what I'm saying, as an attendee, like what was your vibe about it? Like what did you feel like was something that you took away?
I mean, the really fun thing about Demo Day, and something that I look forward to every year, is, seeing people who've like had an idea and now getting to like show it off to their community. And, you've got people's got their families there. Everyone is so proud. Everyone is so happy. And like the competition to win more money is obviously like what everyone's trying to do. But it's even like I feel like even getting that first $1,000 and getting someone said, hey, this idea is worth something. Like for a lot of people, like that's the biggest, biggest thing. It's just someone saying like, you should try this. And like that next step they take of taking that $1,000 and creating the booth that then, you know, they're using to try and get more. Like oftentimes that's what they need. And then maybe they meet someone at demo day who believes in them too and is like wants to invest or wants to collaborate or whatever it may be. So what I love about the 100 in general is it's really trying to like, it takes the money and tries to spread it out to a lot of people, because like each one of those ideas has a chance to become something real and something life-changing for those people, but also for their family and for their community. Well said.
I'm glad you're on the show today, man. This is great.
I'm available whenever.
So the 100 oftentimes has, you know, for the uninitiated, right? Like every year that the 100 pops out, just by way of life and the growth of the city, you know, there's going to be people that aren't familiar with it or have heard about it but aren't quite sure, you know, what it's about. I would encourage everybody to go to 100.startgarden.com. But we also have a little video. And one of the things I've been doing here at Start Garden is just kind of like out in the world of Grand Rapids, educating people about the 100. So we threw together a little fun video about that. Murphy, would you be able to roll that, please?
What do you know about the 100? The 100 what? What are we talking about? I don't even know what's going on right now. Okay, 100?
No, I never heard of it.
About the 100.
Only whatever you sent me.
What do you know about the 100?
From what I've heard, it's 100 people win $1,000 to start their business, their business idea. 100-second video is what they have to submit, something like that. Yeah. Thank you for informing me.
Yeah. On travels throughout life.
I feel like you surprised me on one of those. I'm actually really glad that didn't get shown.
Yeah. I still got that footage. It was funny.
Yeah.
You walked in, you had your coffee, you had your mask on, you were about to check in. Dude, I can't help it, man. Like I really love to surprise people. Like that's one of my favorite things. And so then my kids are like the same way. Like they're always trying to surprise me and like see, you know what I mean? So like I'm like, why are they trying to surprise me all the time? And I'm like, oh, it's genetic. We can't help it.
I'm fine with surprises as long as they're after 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. That one was early. I think that was like 9:20.
Yeah. Too early.
Awesome. So yeah, man, like it's you know, we're taking 100 submissions until July 26th, and it's gonna be really cool to just like use all that time to educate and spread the word. And
have you guys gotten out anywhere yet to do any pop-up submissions yet?
I'm glad you asked because we're finalizing the pop-up submission schedule. So we're gonna be dropping that this week. Yeah. So we'll have a lot of things coming up this summer. First of which is going to be the Spring GR graduation event, which is actually open to the public. So yeah, Spring GR. They're another great partner that supports entrepreneurs as well. And yeah, that event is open to the public. If you could just go to like Spring GR's social media, and you'll be seeing it pop off on our social media too, because we're excited to be there. So yeah.
I think the thing that everyone's got to realize too is like, even if right now you don't feel like you have an idea, like tell your friends, tell your family, like it's so easy to win $1,000. Like think about this. You know, how long would it take to record the video? How long is it?
It's 100 seconds or less.
100 seconds.
I mean, like it could go like this. It could go like.
You spent more time waiting for 5x5 to start.
100 seconds goes by fast. I mean, that's like the intro. That's like the intro to a Drake song, the first verse, and then the hook, and then that's it. That's 100 seconds.
Yeah, $1,000. I mean, so easy. So tell your friends, tell your family.
I mean,
Get
I have
those ideas
I have
submitted.
my fake business idea. That
Do you want to do your
I
100
like to
seconds
throw
right
out
now?
there. You know what I'm
Let's see
saying?
it. Let's see it. You got 100 seconds. I'm starting right now. You got 100
Ready?
seconds. Go. Yeah, 100 seconds. Go.
Yo, what's up? This is AB. I'm the nicest man in Grand Rapids. I respect and love everybody. But what I cannot get with is those people that I stop and let them turn left and then they don't wave. And I stopped all the traffic behind me so that you could turn and you saw me. I made eye contact and you turned. I waved. You didn't wave. Disrespect that I cannot handle. So what can I do about this? And to help you understand, you know, a better way to respect society. The egg gun. What? You get a dozen eggs, throw them in the gun. And now people will learn. No one wants egg on their car. No one wants egg on their face. The egg gun. We'll sell so many of those. Far better option than real guns when it comes to road rage. Thank you so much.
You can buy a lot of eggs with $1,000.
Oh, thank you, Landon. Yeah, it's cheap, it's effective, it's eggs. Exactly.
I love it. I love it. See, folks, it's just that easy. Get out there, get your idea in there. What's the URL again? 100.
Oh, 100.spectacles.com. Yep. Yeah, man. Like I think that Walt Disney quote, right? Like the easiest way to get started is to get started, right? Like you just gotta like start somewhere. So like even if you record it and you're not like feeling great about it, you know what I'm saying? Like do it again. You know what I'm saying? But once you do it the first time and you realize how easy it is, you're gonna keep going. I think that's like the entrepreneur. One of the things about entrepreneurs in general, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, with Michigan House, like, you know what I'm saying? It probably was like a daunting sort of task, you know what I'm saying? Like at the beginning, but you started it and look at it, look at us now.
Yeah.
So,
and I think especially, you know, for a lot of people after this past year, it makes you kind of like reevaluate, like, what do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be spending your time? And so maybe this is the time to like that idea that's been in the back of your head for a while, make it happen, man. Let's short. Now's the time, and not every community has an organization like this that like makes this possible. So do it.
Very true.
Tell other people to do it.
Yo, man. On that note, I want to say thank you to Ted. Thank you to everybody for watching. We're gonna get back to the 5x5. You know, someone's gonna walk away with this $5,000 tonight, and they're gonna be excited, and we're gonna see a great reaction shot. That's one of my favorite things about it, is just to see how people process in the moment.
Winning a bunch of money.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, big shout out to Murphy and Berlin, behind the scenes, making everything look good. And we want to just go ahead and turn it over to them, and we will see you next time. I will see you, and Ted, you're gonna see Ted everywhere. So peace.
We're busy summer.
Thank you.
Later, everybody.
We're back.
We are back.
All right. This is it. That was hard. It took longer than it normally does. There was a lot of deliberating, which means great job, presenters. And for those of you that are still watching, you know, I always jump on my soapbox and say, please reach out to the presenters and talk to them about who you know, what you know, who you think they should connect with. That is, especially with the in-person events, probably the most valuable thing that jumping up on stage and sharing an idea does. So as much as you can during COVID, reach out and help out the entrepreneurs. Like no company is built by one person. It's built by a whole community. So please do that. But since took a little bit of time deliberating, what we do is we give a little bit of feedback. We give sort of like the best part and the thing that needed some work on the presentation to each of the presenters in the order they presented. So the first one is UPlant, the landscape design company with Sandy. And I think, Laura, you're giving feedback, yeah?
I'm going to, yeah. So Sandy, we loved the idea, and I think obviously you've identified a niche. I mean, I'm one of, you know, I would be one of your customers. So, you know, but I can't do the design work myself, and have somebody be able to do it for me, and then give me that list, and I go to the store and I get what I need, and it's phenomenal. I think, to be honest, I think we were a little surprised that software doesn't already exist. So I think that was one thing we were like, that's interesting. And then secondly, you know, the software clearly was for you to be able to streamline your process. But the ask for the $5,000, not sure if you can pull that software together for that amount. So make it, you know, are you estimating that cost to kind of bring that in? We weren't sure about that, but I mean, the idea is phenomenal, and I think it's, yeah, I mean, we loved it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Next up is LANDON with Equity Applicants, the company that is pairing equity applicants to the cannabis industry. LANDON, I'm giving you feedback. So I think like on the upside, it's a really interesting space because obviously there's a requirement, right? Compliance requirement to meet sort of a social justice goal, and you're kind of stepping in that space of helping people do that. And I think that it's an interesting space to be. Where I was getting some confusion, and I thought kind of needed to get tightened up, is like, what is the real leverage, you know, as far as other than just sort of saying, well, I can send you some applicants and you can pay me for it. It felt like there's another step to take where it's like, I've got your whole liability covered, you know, like you're in compliance because you're paying me, and then that would actually come at a higher price point. Whereas it felt like we were kind of hovering around at a low price point for something that didn't have, you know, as far as solving that problem. So that's where I was getting a little bit like hung up on the presentation. But yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's the feedback. I also want to sit down and talk about it more with you. So let's do that.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Next up is Hierarchy. Tramel Hawkins.
Yes, sir.
Healthy edibles.
Well, yes. Healthy high-end edibles.
Very healthy edibles. Tramel, great presentation. I think definitely you're looking at a niche that is strongly needed. Like I said before, when I asked you a question, as a former, you know, diabetic, and thank God I'm not anymore, but you know, I still control my sugar, and I still control my, you know, I take care of my diet. So definitely a great product and a great opportunity when there's you're feeling a void, a niche that is not out there yet. The only thing that I, and the team talked about was, you being almost like a one-man show as far as when you said, the shop where you do all the growing and you do all the baking and, and then the distribution. It could really take a lot of time, from you. So, but other than that, I'm thinking that it's definitely a great product. And okay, for full disclosure, everybody, I would definitely use it. But overall, great presentation, Tremel.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jorge definitely leads toward the "what are things I would use" category. I think next up is Laura Vaughn with Mannerist Goods.
Laura, great job, great product. Love the creativity of taking something that's used every day and displaying it uniquely and high end. And as somebody who has probably a habit, to put it nicely, of buying shit that pops up on my timeline, could definitely see where high value glassware would be something that people would like. One of the conversations we had was about price point, but my team has historically not been they're kind of cheap sometimes, but they thought that maybe the price was a little high on the glass set and so forth. But personally, I love it. I get it. I get the placement of it from a price standpoint. From if you're worried about how much you're spending it, you're probably not going to buy it anyway, right? So
yeah,
love the product, love the idea, and just love the uniqueness of it.
Thank you. Yeah. We've benchmarked a lot of prices for what it's worth. And like this kind of glassware is like $50 to $70 a piece in some places. So I was like, this is more approachable. Thank you.
The question comes back to would Jorge use it? And I think Kimberly was trying to say that she it doesn't want to be lumped in with the cheap people.
I'm not cheap.
No, I said yeah. So for full disclosure, Kim is not part of the permanent Start Garden team.
Yeah.
She just plays team member on 5x5. Better than that.
Yeah,
I was specifically saying Jorge and Paul. Really, let me just.
I think it's just Jorge. I don't think it's Paul.
Wait, how did I get lumped in with the cheap?
I know. Thank you. No, I'm the cheap one.
I'm not cheap either. I did not question the price on Laura's glasses only because I saw what she had written. So I thought there was confusion.
Oh.
So much backpedaling. Okay, so G Boutique with Kiana is up next.
Hey, Kiana.
Hello.
So first of all, great job. And I think your market that or your business is right on the nail in terms of needing things that fit women in a certain size. So body positivity is something that I'm personally excited about. And I think it's very important that we make sure that regardless of what size that you are, you get to look beautiful, right? Nobody wants to have on a beautiful blouse and then have to go out in mom jeans because people are not catering to them.
Right.
One of the things I also really love is your energy. And I told the judges this when we were deliberating. It's something about you that I know that whatever you do, that you're going to go very far without a shadow of a doubt. Like you have a certain entrepreneurial spirit on you that.
Thank you.
Not that we don't see it often, but it's just something that is in you. So don't ever forget that. I love the fact that you know your numbers. Like you were very clear on how much you would sell it for, how much you would make, and how much you needed to sell to keep making money, because that's very important. Sometimes entrepreneurs struggle with that. One of the things that we thought we would like to see more of is how would you handle the overall sales cycle? I know you mentioned that you would be like the person for customer service. But as you scale and grow, it would be difficult for you to kind of handle all of that. So as you think about your business model, as you launch, think about, how you can have other people help you with that process. Like if you have returns or have your pop-up shops and things like that.
Can I say something real fast? I ran out of time. I'm glad you said that. But my ultimate goal is to open up a storefront and hire a team to help me. But I was cut off and I didn't want to go over my minutes, but that was a big part of it. But yes, I plan to hire a team because I know I can't do this all on my own, because I plan to really put my all into this business. Because like I said, I am my own customer. So I know, you know, this business will take off and I can't do it on my own.
Right. And the other thing that I love too is that you have an internal litmus. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're so committed to our own ideas that we don't want to give them up. But you mentioned that in your presentation, like, hey, I did this and I realized I was doing it because everybody else was doing it. And now I know that I need to make a shift into something that identifies with me as a personal brand and for the real need that I'm seeing for customers. So kudos to you. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm really stern on being different, you know, and create my own path. So I appreciate you guys for noticing that, because most people don't. So
yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So moment of truth. Quick plug for the next 5x5 night All-Stars, June 29th. And I guess what would you say about, yep, Lori, go for it.
I just wanted to say one thing, since we did take a long time deliberating, because I think, you know, all of the presentations were strong, and every single one of you that is not the winner here tonight, and we really sincerely want you to participate in the Start Garden 100. We think you all have a lot of really great potential. So I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Yeah, and Lori will be reaching out to all of you tomorrow, because we want to sit down with you regardless of what happens tonight. So I think the winner, it was a tough one, and is there something in this space that seems like there's potential to grow? Does this entrepreneur seem like they're right at that point in the timeline that the $5,000 can make a huge difference? It's all of these different factors. And the one that came out eventually on top was Hierarchy, Jamel Hawkins, UN.
Well, thank you guys.
You gotta hook your mom up, and a lot of other people.
I definitely didn't expect that.
Hook Jorge up.
Thank you. I will. Man, you guys don't know how much this is going to do. I mean, I appreciate it. Also, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate everything, you know. Yes, I'm so gracious right now. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure, you know, just going through this whole process, and really, it gave me a chance to look internally and really hone in on my vision. You know, just going through the slides and kind of working it all together. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Good luck. I'm interested in seeing this place.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get it open. I really can't. You know, you guys will all have front row tickets to it. You know, and I'll get you guys in on the soft openings and everything in between. Get you guys some swag and all of that stuff. So definitely appreciate this. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So that's it for 5x5 night tonight. Congratulations, Jamel. Seriously, a round of applause to everybody who presented.
It was hard. It was hard tonight.
It was hard.
It was very hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hustle. There was a lot of hustle in the room.
A lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
and we had our first two cannabis ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, and very likely not the last two for a very long time, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Make sure, Paul, that we connect with Landon. I know he had emailed me about, you know, doing something with Start Garden, so let's follow up.
Yeah, we're following up with everybody. So, All right, June 29th, Start Garden, 5x5 Night All-Stars. Also submit to the 100 at 100.startgarden.com. We shoot money into entrepreneurs. That's what we do.
Thank you guys for having me here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kimberly, for being our fifth judge. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I know.
All right. We'll see you.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.